Hi, my name's Elise, author of the Mindful Photography Beginner's Guide.
This ebook is your guide to learning a simple but incredibly effective photography method that will give your mind the mental space it needs to rejuvenate and recalibrate. You don't need to be a photographer to use this method, and you don't need a fancy camera either. These days, everyone has a camera with them on their smartphones. That's all you need.
This mindful photography method has changed the way that I think. It's changed my perspective, and it's improved my ability to deal with stress. And I think it's going to help a lot of other people. That's why I wrote this book. That's why I'm so excited about it. So, if you've ever dealt with stress or overwhelming thoughts, a lot of it is because there's just a lot going on inside of our minds. You're just thinking so many different things. Things are coming at you from a million different directions. Of course we're going to be stressed out. There is so much going on up here. So a lot of times I heard when I had my own stress, hey, think positive, tell yourself you're a superstar, tell yourself things to help yourself become not stressed anymore. Think this, think that, think that. And the irony of it all is putting more thoughts into your mind when you're stressed because of an overstimulated mind is completely counterproductive. When you're stressed, your brain doesn't need encouraging thoughts or positive affirmations. What your brain needs is a break. The question that I always thought, and that I've heard other people ask as well, is how do you give your brain a break when you're constantly thinking and worrying and there's emotions swirling around inside? You can't turn your brain off. The answer is mindful photography. That's what it's all about, is helping your brain have a break. I went to a retreat in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and it was a mindfulness retreat. It was my very first introduction to mindfulness, and I loved it. And while I was in Chiang Mai, I was also taking a ton of pictures, and I don't know, I just kind of figured out that I could do mindfulness and photography together, and that's kind of how it all started years and years ago. Obviously, it's developed since then, but it's something that, two things that I love so much coming together. Each person's going to have their own experience, and they're going to go on a little mindful photography journey themselves. Ultimately, I want it to be a practical guide for you, something that you can sit down and read and say, okay, I know what to do next. Not just, this is a great idea, but how do I do it? I want you to think, hey, this is a great idea, and now I know how to do it. That's how I set up this guide. The crazy thing about mindful photography is you just don't see the world the same. After practicing it for a few days, it's just incredible. Things just start popping up at you, and you're like, oh, look at that, oh, look at that. And everywhere you're looking, there's something new and interesting that's popping up. And that's one of the things I just love about this method. Not only does it have mindfulness where it helps you stay in the present moment, but you're also just discovering the world around you. And it's just incredible what you find. It's incredible what you start seeing. The world just becomes more colorful, more alive, more interesting. And you weren't even trying to do that. That's the great thing. After practicing, it just kind of starts happening naturally.